Hi bachata dancers, here is a technique for today. We're going to start out with slide basic. Now a slide in your basic could be stationary or it could be traveling. So give you guys an example. During the basic, on either the 1, 2, 3 or the 5, 6, and 7, or for a whole 8 count, we could stay in place and slide 1 and 3 and 5, 6, and 7. So basically there all I did is I did a little circle on the floor with my left foot and the follower's right foot on the 1, 2, and 3. You can do as many of them as you want to fit in to that part of the count. You need to make sure that you transfer weight by your 4 to the foot that you're sliding on so that you can step on it. So an example that would be 1 and 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and 7. From the follow side, 5, 6, and 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, when you do a slide basic, you could also travel with it. When you want to travel, and we'll both face away from the camera here, if you want to travel during a slide basic, you're going to use the opposite foot from the direction you're going. In other words, leads, if you're going to your right, you would use your left foot to slide. If you're going to your left, you would use your right foot to slide. And the same thing would happen is that we could do that on 1, 2, and 3, and then do a regular basic off of that. For instance, 5, 6, 7, 1, 5, 6, and 7, and 1, 2, and 3. This is the guy's side of the beat, 5, 6, and 7. Girls, you would just reverse that. Or you could do that for a whole 8 count, right? You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Now when you're doing that slide, the foot that you're standing on is just going heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. 5, 6, and 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, basic, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. On the other side, 1, 2, and 3, 5, 6, and 7, 1, 2, and 3, and 5, 6, and 7. The thing to remember about these is that they could be done by just the lead, by just the follow, or together. They're not really led as much, but it's just something that you can add to your basic. You want to make sure that you still always listen to the music, so you step back in on the 1 leads, follows, so that you get back on balance to go into the 1 with him. Off of a single basic, regular bachata basic, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. I dance half of a basic on 1, 2, 3, slide 5, 6, and 7. Or we could go 5, 6 in place, 1, and 3, 5, 6, and 7, and 1, 2, and 3. So essentially you're just rolling on the floor, keeping your foot connected to the floor, and drawing little circles. It's always just really important to listen to the music while you're doing this. That is your slide basic. Last demonstration, 5, 6, and 7, 1, 2, and 3, 5, 6, and 7, 1, 2, and 3, and 5, 6, and 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, half of a regular basic, 1, 2, 3, slide, 5, 6, and 7, back to basic, 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, and 7. Those are your slide basics. Hey guys, here's your stop and lift. 1, 2, and 3, 5, 6, and 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Now essentially all I'm doing is I'm accenting part of the music with stopping and then lifting my follow, just as the name implies. When I'm doing that, I want to make sure that I'm close enough to my follow through the body. My right arm is going to lower slightly on her rib cage, right? So I don't want to be here. I want to be a little lower on her back. And I'm going to bend my knees ever so slightly and then just lift straight up. So all my body is doing as a lead is going slight plie, slight bend, your arms a little lower, straighten the legs, and then that picks her slightly up. The nice thing about this for the follows is that it kind of arrests their movement. It stops them moving because it brings them onto tippy toe, and it's a great way to emphasize the music. Often there's hits in the music. If you got to know the song, of course, or you got to really listen for it through your musicality. Hits could be on 1, could be on a 7, could be on a 5, but wherever that is leads, when you hear that coming, you're dancing 1, 2, and 3. You hear it coming 5, 6, and 7, you lift. You hold there for as long as is, I don't know.
Silence happens.
Yeah, as long as the silence happens. Make sure it's not too awkward. Don't sit there for the whole song. And then you bring her back into the 1. Follows, when you guys are doing that, you're making sure that you're shelving down through the shoulders, keeping a nice connection through the lats, right? So you're not lifting up through the shoulders. And Christine, I can feel her slightly pressing down if we're in close position through her left arm. So it's just slightly pressing downward. And as I lift her up, slightly goes off of her heels, and then we go back into a basic. Keep your posture really good. Leads don't lean towards her or lean away from her. That's your stop and lift. Hey, this is another video on leading and following body rolls. Basically leads, you want her to body roll, usually to illustrate the lyrical part of a song. Like da-da-da-da. If maybe that was in the song, you could make her body go da-da-da-da. Now, the thing to remember as a lead is that you don't have to do the body roll as well. It's cool if you really have your body rolls down, and refer to our other body roll videos as well for that. But if you don't, it's wonderful to lead them. All I'm doing is I'm using my right hand on her back, and I'm pressing slightly in with the thumb, right? So the top of my hand comes in, and I bring her in slightly towards me. The follow's rib cage comes towards the lead, and then leads, I take my hand out and away, and she rolls her rib cage to follow me. Now, follows, Christine is rolling in towards me through the rib cage, and then she's rolling the top part of her back backwards against my hand, and then her midsection, rib cage, and then hips settle at the end. And she makes sure that she's really straight up and down at the end of that, right? You don't want to do a body roll and then kind of lean forward again or lean back at the end of it. You want to be really on balance. Leads, I'm taking the top half of my hand in, and then I'm sending her away. Now, this is something really important here. At the end of this, when she settles through to the end of her body roll, I'm making sure that my hand supports her back. Because if you think about it, you bring her towards you and then away. You need to give her a little support, because it's going to kind of feel like she's almost sitting back down again into a chair. She's slightly leaning. So in other words, don't bring your hand in, lead her into it, and then kind of let your hand go where she sort of falls that way. That's a wonderful dramatic impression brought to you by Christine Schwartz. As a lead, you could lead these with your right hand. Left hand, you could lead them with both hands, right? Both hands against her shoulder blades here. Slight lift through the elbows. You bring her in, and then you bring her out again. Leads, make sure that when you're doing these, it's in and then out and away from you, right? These could be led against you. I usually will kind of let her body roll against the right side of my body. For one, that's the better side of my body. And for the other, it's not like full front. So leading and following body rolls, that's essentially what you've got there. Leads, you're using the top part of the hand, and then bringing her away. Make sure you support at the end. Sometimes it's nice with one hand to provide a static lead. So my passive lead, the static lead is this hand's going to stay in place, while this hand gets her to come in and then out and away. But usually I'll just lead this with my right hand on her back in close position, or I'll go into sort of this double close position with both hands. That is leading and following body rolls. And again, if you want to work on just your body rolls, work on the video entitled Body Rolls in the series. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you guys on the dance floor. Alternative rest beat isolations. Sounds complicated? It's not really. You want to work on your isolations through your whole body. Shoulders, right? Shoulder rolls, shimmies, rib cage movements, out and in, hip movements, whether it's a figure eight or just a merengue side to side. Whatever those are, though, it's nice to add those in the rest beat, so 4 and 8. Off of a basic, instead of just doing the hip bump, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is cool, right, for your modern bachata feel. We could, instead of doing that hip bump, you could do a shoulder roll through there. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could do kind of a rib cage movement side to side, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could do a hip roll that's not necessarily the classic hip bump, just a little roll through your hips. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this gives a lot of nice flavor to your dancing. It just also kind of relieves the monotonous feel of 1, 2, 3 hip bump, 5, 6, 7 hip bump. You want to change that up as much as possible. Those are your rest beat isolations. We'll see you guys on the dance floor.